It's undeniable that in the past, women in video games were not given the most significant roles, but times are changing. Developers and publishers are now realizing that women play games, too, and they deserve a storyline, and titles starring women really make a profit. Tales of Berseria. The first game in the Tales series and the first true big-budget JRPG to feature a female protagonist, it's also the best entry in the franchise in years. Tales of Berseria tells the story of Velvet Crow, a girl growing up in a provincial village devastated by demons caused by an event known as Demon Blight, the so-called demonic plague. All of this leads to Velvet becoming possessed and mutating into a sort of demon-eating demon, which in turn preys on other demons, all JRPG style. But what makes Velvet stand out is the fact that she's not a traditional female JRPG character, as she takes on the archetypal male role of an aggressive, bloodthirsty, vengeful monster slayer. The original parts of Tomb Raider featured a tougher, more liberated, and busty heroine, but Lara Croft's newest incarnation is a slender, slightly more dressed girl who goes beyond just a strong female protagonist and is moving towards being fully developed. And a realized character who has his flaws, makes mistakes, takes risks, makes subjective assessments, learns, grows, changes, and becomes a better version of himself. The new Lara is incredibly human. The game certainly struggles with a lot of narrative dissonance, as Lara cries when she sees her loved ones being killed in cutscenes before her eyes, and then silently takes out enemies with a rifle 30 minutes later. But that's more of an oversight by the developers than a bad plot. Lara is still good. Celeste is a game about anxiety, overcoming fears, and an existential crisis. It has a great story and outstanding platforming mechanics, and most importantly, a complex and believable female protagonist named Madeline, not Celeste, since Celeste is a mountain. Madeline's climb up the mountain is the physical manifestation of the heroine's journey as she grows, learns, falls, fails, and changes along the way. She is a young girl who is trying to achieve something great, not for anyone else, but for herself. She wants to be proud of something, and she chose this path. Your task is to help the heroine reach her goal. Metroid. The big revelation at the end of the original Metroid is that Samus Aran is actually a woman. Decades have passed, but it's always worth remembering that this vicious space bounty hunter who fights pirates is also a woman. While Samus may not be the most outstanding heroine in terms of development, character development, dialogue, and interaction, she is nonetheless a great character in terms of her actions. From game to game, Samus visits many planets, each with its own dangers to uncover mysteries. Using her wits and physical strength, Samus must survive and complete her mission. The costume and ship designs also remain some of the coolest in gaming history, untainted by time and nostalgia. Uncharted, Lost Legacy. The Uncharted series has always revolved around Nathan Drake and his mentor and best friend Victor Sullivan. In each of the 4 main games, Drake teams up with Sally to take on hordes of enemies. With that in mind, Drake might have become boring for some players, which is why many have been waiting for the release of Lost Legacy, as it allows fans of the franchise to play as Chloe. Along with Nadine, the leader of the South African mercenaries, Chloe embarks on her own journey through Uncharted, giving the player the opportunity to enjoy all the witty banter and teamwork we've come to expect from games in the series, but now 2 tough ladies come to the fore. Bayonetta is undeniably a tough heroine. She is not afraid of anything she encounters, including God himself, and does not hide in front of danger. In fact, she laughs in her face, kicks and grinds into the dirt in high heels, which are also weapons. Bayonetta is having fun at every moment of the fight, and you, as a player, have fun with her. Her aristocratic English accent and sexy librarian glasses complement her insanely murderous personality wonderfully, making for a perfectly balanced action game. Alien Isolation. Ellen Ripley, one of the coolest women in film history, and the heroes of 20th century sci-fi and horror films. Alien Isolation is an incredible nod to the movie Alien and puts players in the shoes of Ripley's daughter, Amanda. Following in her footsteps, Amanda finds herself in a similar, if perhaps far more dangerous, situation to her mother, as the heroine has to set foot on the Sevastopol space station. Amanda is tasked with using her wits to outsmart her enemies, one of which is a deadly xenomorph hunter. Here she has to hide, make weapons, and study the environment in order to survive. She is just a copy of her mother. Child of Light is a story about a young girl, Aurora, who wakes up and finds herself lost in a mystical world filled with fabulous creatures. The world endows the heroine with the ability to fly, and she has to fight the darkness of her own mind. Once again, we have a female protagonist who is not just strong, but actively trying to overcome her own depression. The game is very enjoyable, and this is one of those rare titles that is really suitable and recommended for gamers of all ages. Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. The main character of Hellblade, much like Aurora from Child of Light, is one of the greatest heroines we've ever seen. Senua is a young woman wading through the darkness of her own mental health. While the voices in her head are acting out and lying to her, demons literally appear out of thin air and try to stop the woman, and the world around her is constantly changing, and Senua must fight to get to Helheim. Senua is the kind of character that deserves as much sympathy as praise. Her journey is one of fighting her own fears, and the game never makes it clear whether they are truly demons or just mind-created creatures. In any case, the ability to survive this whole nightmare makes Senua a real hero. Horizon: Zero Dawn and Forbidden West. The world has never seen a female protagonist more famous, better thought out, better voiced, and better performed than Aloy from Horizon. Zero Dawn and Forbidden West. This young, smart, strong, charming, resourceful, beautiful, and tenacious woman is the epitome of all modern games with a woman in the lead role, and the title itself is almost flawless. Aloy was born in a gorgeous post-apocalyptic world filled with really cool dinosaur-like robots, and she must conquer this land by discovering who she really is. Aloy is a powerful woman who has not been fetishized, lazily designed. She is the perfect video game hero and also a woman. If your favorite game is not included in this list, write in the comments. Thanks for watching. Subscribe our channel, watch our other videos, press like, turn on notifications, and you will always be aware of what to play today.